Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving back into some Pirate Rumble. Yes, some Pirate Rumble with the Straw Hat V2 as well as a mono strength team. Now, if you guys haven't seen this team's a lot of fun. This team's been floating around for a little while now, and it's actually like rapidly becoming my favorite team to run in PvP. PvP kind of got like a revitalization when it comes to the Straw Hat crew and Roger. Very similar to how like Roger and Odin sort of gave it that spark last year with the slasher meta, but in saying that, it's just a little bit more balanced this time. Now, I'm still not a huge fan of PvP. I still think it's a bit of a dead game mode. I do think it's very, like, it's very gem hungry, it's very money hungry, it's very pay to win, and unfortunately, like, 1 gem for 3 matches per day, it's disgusting. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if you're watching this video, Jin, but I did hear that, like, to get, like, top 1 in Pirate Rumble, it takes around 500 gems. Like that is actually absurd to get, like, first. Now, like, obviously, like, you're putting in the gems to get the hard yards, like, treasure maps the same. Like, Kazuna's not, but, like, that potion style could be worse. But, like, that is just absolutely absurd. Like, that is 10 multis. That's mind-boggling to me. But, nevertheless, we are back with the Strength and Straw Hat team. If you are enjoying PvP content, like I said in the slasher video, let me know in the comment section below. Drop a comment, tell me what teams you want to see. Let me know what teams you guys are running. If you are enjoying this content, let me know. Smash the like button if you are new or you haven't done so already. Hit the big red subscribe button as well. We do upload OPTC videos every single day. It's free. You can change your mind later if you really want to. Help your brother out. But, like I said, we are taking this mono strength team. And if you guys haven't seen this team running around, it actually works really, really well. Now, as you saw, we are versing like a Free Spirit comp. They have a V2 Straw Hats themselves. They also have like Sabo Ace, which is a great defensive unit. They've got Roger, who's a great unit. Otama, it's great for healing, Corazon, and stuff like that. But with this particular team that we have set up, we just have a lot of damage output thanks to Odin, Ace, and Kid doing a lot of just like absolute AoE. And then Jack is our like core-centric defense weapon, as well as doing HP cuts. And it works really, really nicely. As you see there, we didn't have any issues against the Free Spirit team. So let's move on to the next fight. Alright, so onto a like slasher, Free Spirit-y kind of composition. Now, this particular comp utilizes V3 Law, who's still an absolute god when it comes to Pirate Rumble. He's still like, he puts in so much goddamn work because like he nerfs Driven, he nerfs Powerhouse characters, and it all works real hunky-dory for Wano Law. This particular team would like sort of sparks my interest because it did have Odin on the team. Now, with the release of 6+ Odin, Free Spirits, Slashers, and the Strength team sort of just got a little bit better. With Odin's buff, he actually buffs Strength units now, which makes him work incredibly well on stuff like a Strength Slasher team. With the Straw Hats buffing Strength as well, giving that haste ability that makes them so powerful, it all works really, really nicely. Odin got an upgraded buff in terms of damage, and I think I wanted to take on this team because I think they have 6-star Odin, and I wanted to just showcase the difference in power. Now, we get absolutely, like, slobber knocked with, like, Odin specials, Roger specials. I think we even get hit by a Yamato special in this particular fight, but funny enough, we actually have, like, Ace come in. Ace just does a butt ton of damage. In the early stages of the fight, Ace is really, really good. He's very good in the backline as well. But the way this team sort of functions, it has Kid on the bench. And what Kid can do is Kid can just come in and, like, just board wipe if he gets someone special. There's not a lot of teams that can withstand the HP cuts from Jack in the first 30 seconds, then copying stuff like Ace, Odin, and, like, Kid, as well as Straw Hats doing a lot of damage as well. This team works really, really nicely, and it functions so well. Like, it's a bit janky, but it just functions so well. On to the next fight now. Alright, so moving on to some of the bigger dog teams now, we have a Psy build. Now, Strength hasn't never really struggled against Psy per se, but they do have Rebecca Toy Soldier. They do have Enel, which is very good at nerfing slashers like Odin and Law. They also have Wano Law, which is really good at nerfing Powerhouse and Driven, namely Kid. Now, Kid's on our bench, and like Kid's just such a phenomenal PvP unit. Having him on the bench seems a little bit weird, but having Kid on the bench is not a bad thing, because as I mentioned in the previous fight, if you get him coming in with his special, if he pops that special off, there's a good chance that he is just going to absolutely decimate the competition. There's not going to be any issues, and you're just going to absolutely just take out, like, everything. It's absolutely insane. Especially, like I said, if you have Jack's special pop off, he normally pops off in the first 30 seconds, which means you get the 2 HP cuts, which drops down their HP drastically. You then have stuff like Ace, you then have stuff like Odin, which can do a lot of damage. Having them in the far sides, the left and right wing, means that they actually don't take a lot of damage as well. Straw Hats have that amazing revive mechanic. They can also give you haste as well, so if you pop their special off, say, before Ace does or before Odin does, they'll bring them up in the chain, provided they get the special off. And if they die, they have that amazing revive mechanic, which is really, really cool. Now, we did get Kid come in for Ace. Ace actually got taken out thanks to the Yamato special. Yamato is obviously still an absolute weapon when it comes to Pyro Rumble. She basically just kills, like, 2 units most of the time anyway. Very similar to, like, Roger, they just basically kill stuff. It's just so much damage, But unfortunately, Kid's sort of special doesn't really match up with Ace's, so we didn't really see a great attack pattern there. But we did manage to get the Straw Hats coming in with their haste ability. The haste ability brings up stuff like Odin, and normally it would bring up stuff like Kid. Maybe it only brings up free spirit characters now that I'm really thinking about it. But the fact that it brings up Odin and Ace is just nothing to scoff at, nevertheless. But as you'll see there, we've pretty much sort of taken out his core, and even with a solid backline, utilizing stuff like Kolgar and Noland, utilizing stuff like Smoothie, and Scopper Gaban, like, we're in absolute good stead now. Like, we're in real good stead here. We got the Kid special popping off, which is great. Like, at this point, like, he's actually got nothing in the tank. So, as you can see, like, Kid on the bench does a lot of work. Law's great because he can give HP. Jack's our defensive sort of, like, staple. And then Straw Hats, like, you guys know, like, the goes the Straw Hats. They do a lot of damage, they give that haste ability, and even though they are a dual unit, they still buff free spirits, as well as strength units, which means Odin and Law get a very, Odin and, Law and Ace get a very nice buff here. Let's move on to some more fights now. I think I got a couple more for you. Alright, so on to another Psy fight now. This team is actually very, like, similar to the last fight that we actually saw. The Psy team was, in my opinion, sort of the most dominant team to be floating around on both versions of the game as of the sort of New Year's batch sort of came around. Now, obviously, Strength still does struggle against stuff like Quick. There is the natural enemy system when it comes to Pyro Rumble. Strength beats Dex, Dex beats Quick, and Quick beats Strength. Obviously, like, this team can actually put up a real good fight against Quick. I wouldn't recommend fighting Quick, just because obviously RNG is still a very, very heavy force when it comes to Pyro Rumble, nevertheless. So just be really, really careful if you do want to take on Quick. I would just advise against it. The whole idea of Rumble, as I mentioned in the Slasher video, is you want to take on teams that you know that you can beat. But not only teams that you know that you can beat, but you can also take on teams that are going to give you the most points. It's the most optimal way to maximize your 3 runs per day. That way you can get into Championship. Ideally, you want to try and do PvP as soon as... Wow, Ace got, like, absolutely clobbered again. Poor Ace is just getting absolutely spanked. You just really want to try and do your PvP matches, like, right on the reset marker. If you do them right on the reset marker, you tend to find enemies that will give you the most points. And it just works really nicely. With Jack 6+ as well, something else I forgot to mention with Jack is he actually always pops off that double HP cut, because I think he gets buffed to the first 40 seconds instead of the first 30 seconds, which is a drastic improvement, because you will, 99% of the time, you will see that that double HP cut. Straw Hats are going to come in now, even though we do get half stats from Yamato. He's actually going to give haste to Odin, and once Odin comes in with that big slobber knock of a special, like, we didn't even need the second attack, we basically just wiped the rest of them. Kid's got his special now, we basically wiped the board there, so Kid's just going to clean up the scraps, and even if Kid wasn't going to clean up the scraps, he's got enough defense to hang around, and, like, if Odin didn't kill too much, like, we would have been in really good stead there anyway. So, Strength, Free Spirit, / Straw Hat, Mugiwara V2 is really, really fun. Really, really good team con, and, like, it can go up against the best of them. Like, it can easily go up against the best of them. I haven't tried against Int, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But it's very hard to find Int teams lately. On to the final fight. Well, asking you shall receive, right? We have an Int fight. Like, obviously, this is not the be-all or end-all when it comes to the Int team. It is missing stuff like Smoker's in the backline, which kind of makes sense a little bit. But they are using, like, Yamato. They are using versus Whitebeard. They have Perona. They have a lot of really, really good units that are, like, can, like, hold their own. Marco's a great attacking unit. Not exactly the best for a defensive team. Stuff like Reiju's a little bit nicer. But if they had stuff like they had stuff like Jozu, those particular characters are quite scary when it comes to Pyro Rumble as well. But the Int team, as a defensive sort of weapon, it does work very, very well. But the best thing about the Strength team is they have the access to Kid, which just, like, helps them get through, like, defense like crazy. They have a lot of fixed damage, obviously, with Odin doing that 2,500 to all enemies, and it sort of works really nicely. This team actually works really well against Yamato builds as well, because if the Straw Hats cop that Yamato shot, you really don't care too much, because, like, you can just let the Straw Hats die. If the Straw Hats die, they literally just come back with half their HP. They'll keep their special counter as well, which means they'll output a lot of damage as well, which is really, really nice. And as you see there, like, they got special binded by Smoker, which kind of sucks, but, like, if they didn't get special binded, they would come back with their special. They would then pop it off, like, ready to go, which would then bring, like, Ace Law and Odin to like the top of the attacking order, which just means you just get free damage. Like it just helps out drastically, especially when you got enemies like Moria who are on such low cooldown, like low HP right here. If you can just get one of them to attack, unfortunately Smoker makes that very difficult, but if you can just get one of them to attack, like you will be in a really, really good spot. But nevertheless, we did manage to take out the in-team, no issues whatsoever. And we're going to wrap up the video there. So if you did enjoy the video, like I said, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys want to see some more Pyro Rumble videos. And don't forget to belt the like button for me too. If you are new and or you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button as well. I would appreciate it a lot. Help a brother out, as I mentioned, but most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, I thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let's